Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet, and this is going to be another Daily Masters cast. It is that TvT that I said I was going to be casting yesterday, and yeah, here it is, TvT. So down the bottom right side of the map, it is our purple Terran player, GoOdy, and down the bottom left side of the map, it is our red Terran player, HeroMarine. So yeah, that button's still working, just checking the mute button. Yeah, so not much else going on. This is, yeah, I'm actually casting this full week before you guys will actually see it, because I'm due to go off on the work trip, and yes, so it's all going to be ready, everything's up, and as I mentioned before, well, actually it probably doesn't matter now, because by the time you see this, I'll be back, so it really doesn't matter. I was about to say I won't be available during that week, but whatever. Yeah, not too much else going on. I've fully downloaded Need for Speed Shift Unleashed 2, and I've been totally getting into Left 4 Dead 2, so definitely in the next month or so, I'd say one of those games, at least one of those games, will start coming up on my second channel, and that will be really, really awesome. So I really don't. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do Need for Speed Unleashed 2, Shift, whatever, in front of Grid 2, because, yeah, I mean, I don't know, Need for Speed is just a much bigger title. It's got a lot more, it's got a lot more titles behind it, basically. It's like the 11th title in the series of Need for Speed or something, but I've heard very, very good things about it. Basically, what I did was I typed in Google and I said Gran Turismo for PC, and the number one thing that came up was Need for Speed Shift. So we will, that is going to be the one that I am going to be playing around with. And looks like HeroMarine going for an early expansion here, the 3-minute mark. This guy, probably didn't see it, and with the Marine chasing him around, he's probably not going to see it. He's actually trying to attack the Marine, so he's going to have no chance of getting out there to see that. But it doesn't really matter, because GoOdy is going to be going for his own command center right about now. So he's not super far behind. What is this doing? This is about 30 game seconds ahead compared to this one, which is, well, whatever, 20 to 30 game seconds ahead. So that's not a huge deal going on here. And both players have pretty much exactly the same in terms of their other stuff. So no extra barracks coming on the way, but they are producing a lot of the gas. Both doing the for the double gas. So I assume that neither of them is going for a very heavy super marine sort of pressure play, because you wouldn't need that much gas. So they're going to go into a mech starport sort of play, potentially Triple M, most likely Triple M, with probably some Widow Mine to help out as well. Widow Mine's taken the place. If there was a Terran versus Protoss, you're facing off against a Terran with Triple M, you'd go for Storm or Colossus, probably mainly Storm, but it's a bit harder to have something when you're going against, when you're a Terran player. So Widow Mine's definitely a good option. Tanks also sort of good, but the lack of maneuverability and the cost, they cost quite a bit more than Widow Mines, and the fact that they're not cloaked when they're actually down in the ground, means that, yeah, the siege tanks, I don't know. I mean, they do hit a lot more often, but when you're talking about Marine Stim, you want to be very, very maneuverable. All over the place, you want to be able to jump here, jump there, stim and run when you're taking a beating. And the thing is, if you've got a huge bunch of Marines protecting tanks, and you see that you're overwhelmed, stimming and running is not an option. You stim and run, you lose all your tanks. You don't stim and run, you stay there, you defend, and you lose a lot of your army if you're up against a much bigger army. I mean, if you've got like 5 or 6 tanks, the possibility of you losing that engagement is not as much, but you can still lose a lot more units than you otherwise would. And of course, it's very, very easy for people to start flanking your tank lines with a bunch of stim orders or some crazy shit like that. So very, very, very crazy. But look at this, HeroMarine actually getting his armor and his starport down quite fast, and it does look like we will be seeing some Hellbat drops in this game. There's a couple of Hellbats coming out, And he's got to be just moving the starport over right now. There it is. And here we go, medevac coming out ASAP. And he's been saving up the gas specifically for these medevacs. So we'll probably be seeing 2 medevacs, 2 Hellbats each. And GoOdy, yeah, I mean, he's got Marines, but I feel like Marines are not the best choice for dealing with Hellbats. I feel like the Hellbats can probably just roast the Marines all over the place. We do have a couple of regular Hellions coming on in. Bunker is not quite closed off, but he is about to close it off. I don't know if he saw the Hellions or what, but he's definitely closed it off now. And it's a bit unfortunate because GoOdy could maybe have gotten in there, roasted a couple of drones, because, I mean, very early game, Terran players do not have a super effective counter to Hellions or to Hellbats. I mean, Marauders is probably about the best they can do for very early game. You don't usually go for a lot of Marauders. I mean, you just don't. You go for Marines, and you save your gas for factory and starport units, and then once you get up into the mid-game, everything starts being he's got tons of mech and stuff like that, and you want to take out buildings. That's when Marauders start becoming important. And here we go, the 4 Hellbats down on the ground, and you can see the Marines just getting shredded here, absolutely shredded. So yeah, a bunch of Hellions versus Hellbats. The Hellions actually focus firing on these Hellbats, doing a really great job. There's 4 Hellions versus 2 Hellbats, and the Hellbats do not have the range to actually deal with those guys. I'm not sure what the range is on the Hellions, but it's definitely bigger than that of the Hellbats. So that's something I don't think we've ever seen before, is Hellions kiting Hellbats. Very awesome. And is this a new replay? No, it is not. So we did not see the units lost, but I'm estimating probably about 2 or 3 workers died there. Maybe 4, maybe 5, but definitely not enough to make that Hellbat drop worth it. And I assume he didn't lose his medevacs. How many does he have? He did lose both of his medevacs in that attack. So, wow, that attack was just all sorts of bad news. Lost both medevacs, lost all 4 Hellbats. That is a serious loss right there for HeroMarine in this early portion of the game. And we can see that GoOdy is going to be getting some tanks out. So Hellbats, Vikings, tanks, level 1 upgrades. You don't think he's got any infantry upgrades? No, he does not. So GoOdy may be going for straight up mech play in this game. It does look like a very strong possibility. And it does look like HeroMarine is going for some straight up mech as well. He's got a ton of these guys going on. And it does seem like straight up mech is a much more popular option when you're facing off against another Terran player. It seems like Triple M just, yeah, because if you go Triple M against a full on mech player, I don't know, but it does seem, based on what these players are doing, that they feel Triple M would probably lose versus mech. And I mean, with the tank support with Hellbats out in front, yeah, I don't know, because Hellbats are quite beefy and tanks do quite a lot of damage, so I feel like that could do quite a good job. And of course they got a bunch of Vikings as well, and as we've seen in previous mech games, it may come down to air superiority in the end of the game. And we may be even seeing some really crazy stuff like battle cruisers, almost certainly Ravens. I don't know. I mean, this game is pretty long. You can see by the duration of the video, so not be surprised if we see some Ravens come out. So there we go. 2 tanks here. GoOdy does have 4 tanks, and these Hellbats are going to start taking a beating very soon. But so far, they're doing a fair job of cleaning up GoOdy's forces. And GoOdy actually landing the Vikings. All these Vikings staying up the top, and they are going to be looking out to take care of these. They could actually shatter this entire force and just hit the Vikings as soon as they go up, because, yeah, until you get into Thors, there's really no ground-to-air attack options for a Terran player playing mech. There's just no options at all. And here we go. The Hellbats gonna try and sneak in and kill some guys. Oh, there we go. Couple workers going down. 1, 2. It's definitely scorching some guys. No, I don't think they got more than 2 or 3 workers there, so a bit unfortunate. And GoOdy, he looks like he's actually a bit paranoid about Widow Mines coming in with those Hellbats. He feels like he may have seen a Widow Mine land there in the mineral line or something. I don't know, but maybe that was HeroMarine scanning. I cannot say, but both players actually going pretty nuts here on the macro. We do have another base coming down from GoOdy. We do have another base coming down from HeroMarine. We do have a crap load of units over here. Looks like a Hellbat drop. Maybe going to skew off to the main base. There we go. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I thought maybe he was going to skew off to the main base. The siege tank line is out there. And it looks like GoOdy is going to be the first player to get Thors. Is he getting it? This must be a second armory. So yeah, second armory for mass upgrades here. Or maybe he's going to start getting air weapon upgrades as well. If you have a look at the upgrades, 1 weapons. HeroMarine already at 2 weapons, but he has not started 3 weapons yet. Obviously, that upgrade very expensive in terms of gas. And when you're building a ton of tanks and a ton of Vikings, gas can be a little bit hard to come by. Here we go, though, going out there. Probably going to be a planetary when he lands over there. And a bunch of Hellbats come around. This is exactly what HeroMarine did like 5 minutes ago. Just send a bunch of Hellbats around the back line. And yeah, look at this. HeroMarine definitely wants to get in there. He's definitely got quite a big force. Maxed out. GoOdy almost maxed out though. And the Hellbats could not have picked a better time to go in and start roasting stuff over here. Actually got a drop over here, a bunch of Hellbats. They're going to get wiped out very soon. This force, they've got the high ground. Do they have the air advantage? I am not quite sure. Is very, very close, but they're going to run away, and the Thor trying to help out gets absolutely owned. And here the Vikings, these guys actually landing. They do not want to deal with the air forces anymore. And the high ground's going to try and make something happen, but a quick scan up here by GoOdy does allow him to hit these tanks. And yeah, the Vikings all over the top. They may be actually thinking about landing here. Even if they can't do enough damage, they'll do enough splash from the other siege tanks to make stuff happen. He's even just popping down some mules there to get the splash damage going. And HeroMarine decides that he cannot hit the expansion from here, cannot hit that many workers. So he is just going to back on up out of there and maybe go for another angle, but he cannot go directly for this force. It's just too beefy, so he's going to back up for now. And so far, GoOdy definitely looks like he has the air advantage. But HeroMarine, he's still pumping out the Thors, and it looks like he is pumping out, trying to pump out more Thors. He's actually worker advantaged quite nicely. He's up 12 workers there. Yeah, 12 workers, and his income is very, very, very nice. That's from getting that 4th base out so much earlier. And the Vikings going to be coming over, but where are the Thors? He really needs the Thors because his Viking army is just not doing it at the moment. And yeah, where are, there comes the Thors, the first Thor coming out, but it's going to be too late for the Vikings, and these Vikings are just going to run the hell out of there. Or is actually changing the payload option. I think that might be the single target one, but here GoOdy is actually moving out. HeroMarine got a scan right on top of him, so he knows exactly what's going on, and it's just going to be tank versus tank play. And if GoOdy can keep pushing his entire forces forward, a bunch of Hellbats coming down there. The barracks may have seen them though. This missile turret is definitely going to be seeing them, so here we go, tank versus tank, and HeroMarine making a push into the siege tanks. He's losing a lot of forces though. His Hellbat force all pretty much down, and it looks like he's going to sacrifice a few of these tanks to try and pull GoOdy's main forces into his massive tank build-up just behind there, but GoOdy is not going to fall for that. He's just going to sit there and wait and not push on with his Hellbat forces to get shredded by these tanks. So very, very nice play there by GoOdy, not taking the bait. You see HeroMarine set up all of his siege tanks in the back, or most of them anyway, and only had about 4 at the front, and just had the rest. He sacrificed most of his Hellbats, and then he tried to pull the rest of GoOdy's forces into his tanks up the back, but GoOdy was not having any of it. And here we go, the Vikings actually landing to avoid the Thor fire and provide a bit of DPS by themselves. There's a bunch of tanks over here, but the tank line for HeroMarine is starting to look a little bit soggy here. It's not quite holding up, and the tanks that are in range, wow, GoOdy has a ton of tanks, but actually sending some SCVs out. And yeah, some friendly fire from the other tanks is going to be taking a lot of those guys out. So pretty nice, and I can expect these tanks to be mopped up fairly soon. Although it looks like GoOdy is just going to get them the hell away. Maybe leave one tank. No, this guy's going to be... This guy's going to be going actually over here. Just going to be a complete nuisance. And meanwhile, we've got a decent force coming over here. Going to be trying to go for that 4th base. And HeroMarine actually, meanwhile, getting out a 5th base. Here we go. It's going to be setting up the tanks right over there. 1 tank in range. And... oh... just gets taken out at the very last second with another scan. These rocks are going to be going down this pile of debris or whatever. Does HeroMarine know about this? I don't think he has any idea, but did we just... no, that was a medevac. I thought we heard a banshee for a sec, but no, it's a medevac. And oh, this is going to be harsh. Manages to save the orbital and a lot of the workers, but still a very decent attack there. And with 5 tanks, it's going to be a little bit difficult for HeroMarine to try and recapture this point. He is going to lose some units. There we go. 1 tank, 2 tanks, 3 tanks, 4 tanks, 5, 6, 7. He's almost got the 7. So that is the defensive play of a Terran player then. Right now, he had 5 tanks and a bunch of Hellbats. He managed to take out almost 7 tanks just because he was sieged up and HeroMarine had to run into that. So, absolutely insane. And the Hellbats, man, they can try and soak up some damage, but when you're talking about 5 siege tanks, it's very hard to soak up that much damage. It really is. And it looks like GoOdy is actually going to try and take the upgrade advantage. He's going for 2 armor and 3 weapons. And if we have a look, HeroMarine has actually got 3 weapons. I didn't know he had 3 weapons, but he's had that for a while now by the looks of it. So he's ahead at the moment, but GoOdy is going to pass him when he finishes these off with the extra armor going on. And do we have any air weapons? 1 air weapon for HeroMarine, so it's been spreading out a little bit, but he definitely should be working on a bit of the armor. But his bases have been having quite a lot of problems recently. And yeah, this base is going to get taken out as well. This is so bad for HeroMarine because GoOdy has just been double pronging, triple pronging all his attacks all over the place. He's not going to be able to save this one, and so far, GoOdy has been doing an excellent job of getting in there and just taking HeroMarine by surprise time and time again. He took him by surprise here, then he took him by surprise here, then he took him by surprise here. And HeroMarine is gotta be suffering right now. His working count has been knocked down. He's still doing okay. He's got this base and this base back up. And they're sort of mining, but a couple of Hellbats, just as we looked at this base and said, yeah, it's alright again. Hellbat's already in the base, and oh, they're gonna be scared off. And look at the income, man. His income has dropped down so much. And HeroMarine is going to try and make a push out here. He's going to try and counter this excellent play by GoOdy. But he is going to get flanked like nobody's business over here. And we get the tank sieging up. GoOdy just gets the siege up a little bit before HeroMarine. But HeroMarine has a bigger number of tanks sieged up. I don't know if he can make it work here. It does not look like he can. Sort of even, I think GoOdy had overall just a little bit more tanks there. And HeroMarine going to be running for it. Just managed to flank him. HeroMarine turns around, tries to fight. That was not a good decision. And losing all of his tanks bar 1, which is at 9 health. And this guy's actually a sergeant, man, or corporal even. He's got bloody 7 kills, but he is not going to last very long at all. It's getting taken out by a Hellbat. Ultimate humiliation. He's finally sent some Hellbats to protect that base, so nice job there, but his main army is getting taken out, and the income advantage that GoOdy has built up is just going to be the end of it, and HeroMarine just given the G. Not given the GG, just given the G, so I don't know if that means he's unhappy or if he just missed a key. But anyway, congratulations to GoOdy for an excellently played game. Of course, both players excellent mech players, but GoOdy really doing a good job at getting in where HeroMarine did not expect him and shutting down bases, just shutting them down constantly and defending his own base. I mean, it's not too hard to defend your own base because you got siege tanks, and siege tanks give you a natural advantage. But he always got into HeroMarine's base where HeroMarine didn't have siege tanks, and went in there, did a beautiful job. So congratulations to GoOdy, and yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow for another Daily Masters. So this has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.